for businesses and delay essential revenue, and that we need to compete in today's global market, and to achieve that we had to replace guesswork with hard, actionable data. Liberia, through the LRA, conducted its first TRS in 2020. However, given the global health crisis, then with the COVID-19, the study was not exhaustive. We decided to conduct another one and began the process last year. The second national time release study of Liberia journey began in September 2025 with a 5-day preliminary activity to seek approval and identify the port for the purpose of conducting the study. By the end of September 2025, the LRA had formed the TRS Technical Working Group, realizing the important role partnership played by other stakeholders in the supply chain. We knew that this study is a whole of government and whole of community endeavor, and not a customs-only initiative. We needed the active collaboration of every stakeholder in the supply chain, from freight forwarders and terminal operators to importers and exporters, brokers, agents, etc. The technical working group, therefore, comprised of stakeholders from other government agencies, including the LRA, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the National Port Authority, etc., and the private sector, including shipping agencies, National Custom Brokers Association, Liberia National Truckers Union, Liberia National Trade Facilitation Committee, and the APM terminals of Liberia. The detailed term of reference for the working group was developed and approved, with the project charter outlining the scope, objective, roles, and responsibilities of the project. The WCO began the capacity building with a virtual training session for the TRS Technical Working Group members at the Mamampan Hotel in Monrovia from September 18 to October 23, 2025. And a week-long in-country capacity building exercise which coincide equip the team members with the necessary skills and knowledge in preparation for the study. The technical working group began their work with the sensitization and engagement with traders at the Freeport of Monrovia, and ended with the execution and administration of the questionnaire, the collection of data manually and electronically, data cleansing using the WCO software to finalize data collection and validation. A period of over 90 days of data analysis and report writing, including conclusion and recommendation, has been included in collaboration with the WCO and its team of experts. We are here today at the Chamber of Commerce, where the TRS was launched on 4th November 2025 for the findings that have been compiled in the report to be presented to the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority through the Commissioner of Customs. As we may be aware, The aim of conducting the study is to identify bottlenecks in the trade flow process and take the corresponding policy and operational measures needed to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of border procedures and growth, without compromising efficient trade control. Critical and important is the collective implementation of the recommendations from the report so as to facilitate trade, ease the cost of doing business, and improve efficiency and service delivery. Once again, I want to welcome every one of you to this lunch and thank you for coming.
You can do better than that, please. Thank you, Mr. Gege, for setting the pace and warmly welcome us here today. We'll now move over to and the first for remarks is the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, Honorable James Jala. 1, 2.
Our custom people clapping like the hungry in the morning. Yeah. Thank you. Honorable Magdalene Dagoze, the Minister of Commerce and Industry and Chair of the National Trade Facilitation Committee, who is represented by my dear brother, Honorable Wilmer Rees, Deputy Minister, Honorable Sekou Dukle, who is, I understand, has designated a representative, and that representative is on the way. Ms. Joanna to Liberia, Mr. Ian Saunders, who I understand is joining us online. He's the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization. Mr. O. Nadibi Davis, who is President of the Chamber of Commerce and our gracious host. I understand he's also on his way. Mr. James Hine, President of the National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia, Mr. Reshe Baho, Managing Director of APM Terminals Liberia, who is represented by my dear friend Emeka, officials of government, partners in the private sector, colleagues of the Liberia Revenue Authority, ladies and gentlemen. It is a distinguished honor to stand before you this morning on behalf of the board, management, and staff of the Liberia Revenue Authority to help launch the report of the National Time Release Study of Liberia. Today is more than the presentation of a document. It is a statement about who we are as a nation. A people unafraid to measure ourselves honestly, to confront our challenges squarely, and to solve our own problems with determination and with the support of our two friends. The free port of Monrovia handles more than 90% of Liberia's stock, our markets. That is why this study matters to every Liberian, whether or not they have ever set foot on the port. This time release study, our second and the first conducted in full conformity with the WCO methodology, examined 670 import declarations, exceeding its sample target and covering the entire clearance chain from vessel arrival to the final exit of cargo through the port gate. It looked not only at customs, but at shipping lines, the terminal operator, commercial banks, brokers, transporters, and other government agencies. It is in every sense a national mirror. The mirror tells us that the average time from vessel arrival to physical exit from the free port of Monrovia is 12 days, 19 hours, and 42 minutes. Quite accurate. It tells us that the inspections our officers conduct jointly with sister agencies take on average less than 1 hour, and that exit gate only 34 minutes. The delays, in other words, do not lie in the diligence of our officers at the point of examination. They lie in the spaces between institutions, in late manifests, in manual delivery orders, in payment confirmations that travel by paper when they should travel by wire. Some will look at these numbers and see a problem. I'll look at them and see something else, a baseline. For the first time, Liberia possesses a comprehensive, internationally credible measure of how long it takes to clear a container through our principal port. We can no longer be told where we stand. We now know where we stand. And a nation that knows where it stands can chart with precision where it intends to go. This is also the fulfillment of our obligation under Article 7.6 of the WTO Trade Facilitation Agreement, which Liberia ratified in April of 2021. Proof that we honor the commitments we make to the world. Distinguished guests, the Liberian Revenue Authority did not commission this study to place it on a shelf. We commissioned it to act upon it, and I am proud to report that action is already well underway. The metric this study has established, the time it takes to clear a container, is now the yardstick against which our reforms will be judged. And we intend to bend that yardstick decisively downward. First, we are constructing a modern destination inspection facility at the free port of Monrovia. This purpose-built facility, equipped with non-intrusive inspection technology, will bring customs and all key clearance agencies under one roof. Where today an importer goods may wait as agencies operate in fragmented locations, on fragmented schedules, tomorrow they will be examined once, jointly, and swiftly. This facility is being built here in Liberia to support the electronic backbone of our customs. This upgrade will do something this study tells us is urgently needed. It will make our system talk to one another. The upgraded Asakuda will be interoperable with the commercial banks, with the Central Bank of Liberia, and with LITAS, our tax administration management system. Will reach customs electronically and in real time, not by program into His Majesty's Revenue and Customs of the United Kingdom, whose funding and technical guidance made this study possible. I thank the Minister of Commerce and Industry and the Liberia National Trade Facilitation Committee for their stewardship, the S Technical Working Group, whose months of painstaking conviction that the love of liberty brought us here. Let us now demonstrate that the love of country keep us building. Every hour we remove from the clearance of a country until the movement of goods, through an honor to join in launching the report of the National Time Release Study of Liberia. I thank you, and may God bless our dear republic.
Presentation here chairs the National Trade Facilitation Committee and has been working to ensure that this report is formulated. I now have the honor to invite for remarks on behalf of the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Madam Madeline Dakose, the Deputy Minister of Commerce and Trade, Honorable Raymond Aries.
Thank you very much. And let me say good morning to all of you. I bring you greetings from the Minister of Commerce and Industry, who is presently in Nigeria attending the Liberia Business Forum. So she has asked me to please make a representation on her behalf. And I'll present her remarks to you. The Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, the Commissioner of Customs, representative of the World Customs Organization, the Deputy Head of Mission of the United Kingdom. Do we have any representation from the European Union? I believe. The heads of government institutions here present, representatives of the private sector, and then the National Brokers Association, development partners, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor and privilege to join you today as we officially launch the time release study report, a landmark achievement in our country's journey toward building a more efficient, transparent, and competitive trading environment. I commend the Liberia Revenue Authority, the World Customs Organization, and our development partners, as well as all stakeholders whose commitment and collaboration made this important initiative possible. Today's launch is about far more than a report. It is about our collective commitment to transforming the way we do business in Liberia and the way we trade in Liberia. The findings of the time release study provide us with credible evidence to basically deal with some of the delays that we have in our trading environment, provides us with areas of reforms that we would need to undertake, and also how we can work together to be able to reduce the cost of doing business in Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen, the findings of the study will guide policy directions and institutional reforms that are essential in achieving sustainable economic transformation in Liberia. As chair of the National Trade Facilitation Committee, I wish to reaffirm the unwavering commitment and the political will of the government of Liberia, headed by His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boycott Sr., in the implementation of the findings of the study. Trade facilitation is no longer optional. It is a strategic imperative if Liberia is to become a competitive destination for trade, investment, institutional industrialization, and job creation. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry remains fully committed to accelerating a broad package of reforms that need to be undertaken in order to be able to facilitate the implementation of the findings of the study. Some of the reforms that are already underway are the institutionalization of a trade information portal that will soon be developed, that will enable us to improve transparency and access to information that will be required by the private sector. There's also reform around the National Electronic Single Window that is being led by the Liberia Revenue Authority in collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and all other key actors. Also on the way is a reform around digitalizing and automating the import permit as well as the export permit. We are also in the process of introducing online business registration that would now enable our private sector to be able to sit anywhere in the comfort of their homes or wherever and register the business with all their physical presence at the Liberia Business Registry. Together, these reforms will reduce administrative burdens, shorten cargo clearance time, and then improve transparency and predictability. It will lower the cost of doing business and strengthen Liberia's competitiveness under the African Continental Free Trade Area, under the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, and then under the World Trade Organization Trade Facilitation Agreement. They will also send a strong signal to the investors that Liberia is committed to building a modern, digital